Hey guys, welcome back to the Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be taking a look at an audiophile classic, Dire Straits' Love Over Gold. And it has been an audiophile classic since it was released in 1982. Before I get to it, if you're new and haven't already, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. I'd love to get there in the next couple of videos. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, hit notification. If you could all hit the like button, that would be great too. And thank you so much for doing that. I happen to be looking at an old issue of the Absolute Sound. I have a couple of them around. Actually, I have all of them, but a couple in my immediate vicinity. And, you know, usually there's a Superdisc list included in most of these. And around 1982, they started listing Love Over Gold. And I wanted to show you something here. I thought it was funny because I was kind of looking at it and the other night, and it's like some of these titles are still being reissued in audiophile editions that were named on this in 1981. If Only I Could Remember My Name, David Crosby, the Eagles' Desperado, and so forth. Love Over Gold was on this forever too, once it appeared in 1982. So it's always been a favorite with audiophiles, and for good reason. It has a tremendous dynamics. It's a very creative record, beautiful, just beautiful atmosphere, and a little bit less commercial in a way than the debut. And it just has a certain magic about it that I don't think they ever really reproduced. I think it's probably to me, it's their peak album. So I have, let's see, I have a Vertigo original, or Vertigo close to original. I'll show you the label in a minute. A Simply Vinyl and a MOFI 2x45. The Simply Vinyl came out at the beginning of the vinyl renaissance. It's a UK pressing. It actually is the cleanest pressing of all three. Very good surfaces and good sound too. You know, it's really hard to screw up Love Over Gold. I think most any pressing would be very good. We're talking about very fine points here between pressings. And that's what my channel's about. But, you know, you can feel pretty confident with any of these, and probably the currently available pressing as well, that you're getting a good sounding record. It's just so well recorded. It's very, you'd have to deliberately try to sabotage it to screw it up. But this one, Simply Vinyl, wasn't known for definitive editions, but it was nice to get nice, clean, new editions of these records at the time. And the pressings are immaculate, as I said, and the sound is very good. I heard it after I heard these two, so but I'm covering it first because I'm going to eliminate it first. It was a bit recessed in terms of dynamics compared to the other two. Some people say these are taken from low resolution digital sources. I'm not so sure if this is analog or digital, but if it is digital, it sounds very good. And I could happily live with it had I not heard the other two. It's not a bad pressing, but I think probably the currently available one is just as good as this. The second one I played was the Mobile Fidelity. Now, I bought this before the MOFI scandal, and I did a video on that if you want to take a look at it. I only did one video on it, and I haven't covered anything since then. not because I have anything against MOFI particularly. Just was kind of waiting for the dust to clear and see what the provenance of this was. So this is a digital source as well, and it's DSD, and that's okay in the big grand scheme of things. It's not okay that they didn't tell us, but that's another story for another video. But in terms of pure sound quality and enjoyment, this was very, very good. And it was a big step up from the Simply Vinyl. I didn't notice anything that I could attribute to DSD. I don't know if that's even possible, but a grand soundscape, just majestic. And that's probably one of the best attributes of this record. I don't know whether to attribute it to the mastering or the fact that it's on 45, but it spreads out in front of you like a cineramic motion picture, especially right from the beginning. You know, where the guitar intro, I used Telegraph Road for all these comparisons only, and just to make it a little simpler. Telegraph Road has everything. It has the atmospherics, it has the very clear, gruff vocals, it has the extreme dynamic range from very quiet to very propulsive. And this was played before the original, and this seemed to have everything that I was looking for. Without comparison to the original, it was atmospheric, it was enveloping, it was cinematic, it had a wide sound stage, it had deep bass, not overblown, very balanced, good attack on the guitars, nice drum sound, vocals seemed to be very clear and very good, and overall I was like very impressed with it. I then played this one. This is a Vertigo pressing from the UK. I don't remember where I got it. I don't think it's the first one. I think the first one is a Spaceship, maybe, or something like that. But I knew that I had to grab it when I saw it. And it's probably not as quiet. It's not as quiet as the other two, especially on the leading grooves of Telegraph Road, unfortunately. I have to do some deep cleaning and maybe get an ultrasonic clean of this, because honestly, this one is the best one. And I'm not saying that to throw a dig at MOFI, because theirs is excellent as well. The main thing, it has almost everything that this one does, except this one has a little bit more atmosphere, it feels a little more enveloping, especially in those atmospheric parts. The MOFI I could turn up a little louder too without it falling apart. But that's at extreme volume levels, which you probably never use. This had the greatest precision of all of them. Very precise attacks on the guitar, the leading edge of the guitar. The drum sound was much more punch, more propulsive, and more visceral. The vocals had a little bit more definition and clarity, which is wonderful for Mark Knopfler's voice, because it gives it just a little more realism. And overall, I preferred the original. I'd love to get it cleaned up so it's perfect, but it's another one of those cases where the reissue comes very close, but it lacks a little bit of something that the original has. And I'm glad to have both. Honestly, I think I can do away with the Simply Vinyl, but I like the record so much I'll probably keep it because it's very clean and beautiful as well. But that's what I thought about this shootout. I was pleasantly surprised that the MOFI held its own, and it rose in my estimation above where I originally had put it in my mind. But an original Vertigo is wonderful. If you watch my last video, I mentioned about reading the grooves, and if you look at the grooves on this record, I'll try to include a close-up. You can tell it's going to be very dynamic, and it is. It's the most dynamic of all three. It's got the most clarity in the vocals, and it's got the bass. It's got basically everything. Just lacked a little bit of the soundstage width, which might be artificially enhanced on the MOFI. I'm not really sure, but you know, these MOFIs, they're $50. I don't know if they're still in print, but they were a good deal, I think, for a very nice pressing, a show-off pressing. I didn't really have any complaints about it, and finding an original probably will cost you about the same, you know, a really nice original. So it's a toss-up, but I would probably go with an original if you can find a clean one, and that's my recommendation. That's it for today. Until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Thank you for your patience. I'm sorry I was out a little bit. Wasn't feeling really well last week or so, but I'm back, and things will start moving along more quickly now. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.